I'm Deborah Borchardt, and this is your midday market update. Well, we are up today ahead of that two-day Fed meeting. And you know what's interesting that happened today was Microsoft came out, increased their dividend by 22%, and they're doing a big buyback. Joining me now is Keith Bliss. So Keith, you know, in this market, it seems like a dividend-paying stock is not such a bad idea because now it's got a yield of 3.5%. That's better than a treasury.
It is, and dividend. That's why dividend payers have been so in vogue in the last couple of years. The other asset classes, you're just not going to get that kind of yield, especially with the market trading up at its all-time highs here on the S&P. There's not going to be that much more push in the actual earnings or capital gains that you're going to get on the stocks. We all think right now we're hitting some real heavy overhead resistance, but that's a different matter. So they're going to look for stocks. They're going to pay a nice dividend. Microsoft increased their dividend somewhere in the neighborhood of, what, 22% from last year. So it's a really nice return for the shareholders. And then the buyback that you mentioned as well is also another nice bone for the shareholders.
Now, as I mentioned, the FOMC meeting, two-day meeting, we're going to have Ben Bernanke giving a press conference tomorrow. A lot of people are saying that this tapering, that even if they do it, it's very minimal, is already really baked into this market.
It is, and has been for some time. People have gotten comfortable with the fact of what the tapering is going to mean. They think the Fed has started to unmuddle their muddled message a little bit. And I think the Fed needs to back out. I've been saying that for some time. They need to let the markets clear. It's become very clear that what the Fed said in the past was that the risk of doing nothing outweighed the benefits of doing too much. So what's now occurring, though, is that the benefits of doing too much is being outweighed by the risks on the other side, meaning that there's some long-term problems if they keep going with this program. We still have very anemic growth at 2%. The unemployment rate is coming down haltingly, but only because people are dropping out of the labor force. So I think they need to go to Plan B, whatever that is, and part of that Plan B is to go ahead and exit the markets in a slow, controlled way and get out of the way. It's priced into the market. If they were to come out and say we're exiting altogether, that would certainly give the markets some herky-jerky look to it tomorrow, but I don't think they'll do that. They'll come out and they'll say we're reducing it from $10 to $20 billion a month on the long end of the curve. It's priced in, and I don't think anybody will blink at it.
Now, we are in low volume right now. You know, are we just kind of treading water until tomorrow?
Yes, we're treading water not only for the Fed meeting, but for lots of reasons. We have some pretty important fiscal debates that are going to hit Washington at the end of this month as well. The battle lines have already been drawn. A lot of people that I talk to in the investment community, they're really looking forward to that. Again, they don't expect much out of the Fed or the chairman's remarks tomorrow. So the real important part that we're going to be facing in the next couple of weeks are what's going to go on in the fiscal side of the matter with the U.S. government and the lawmakers. Do the politicians have the fortitude to go ahead and start enacting some real reforms inside of tax policy as well as entitlement policy? I don't think so, but that's where the debate will be, and that's why you're seeing the slack volumes. Is really more about that than what the Fed's going to do.
All right, well, there you have it. Sounds like Microsoft with that good dividend yield is going to be something that's going to attract some new money to that stock. In the meantime, low volume, but we are in green territory. That's Keith Bliss from Cuttone, and I'm Deborah Borchardt with The Street.